them readying up. We are going to be on Parisian Rumble, or Periton Rumble, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I think there's still no official word on how that's supposed to be pronounced. I think it was asked during one of the dev
Periton.
fireside chats, and they don't even know.
I know
You're
Scrimscrawl
convinced
was
it's Periton?
talking about testing out new pilots today, so he's going to be sitting this game out.
Yep. Of course, Sunday Rumble is often one of those hotbeds for new pilots to try out their skills and for teams and whatnot. But we are getting here into the game between the Riders and the Glowwater Thralls, formerly Corvus Marauders. Let's get started with the ships. Take it away, Papa, with the Flying Jellyfish.
On the Flying Jellyfish, we have a Goldfish Carronade Flare Mortar on the Wizard. We have a Carronade Spire, very interesting choice there, with a Mortar front, Flare left side, and Mine Launcher right side. So a bunch of functionality on that boat. And on the Durandal, on the blue team, we have a Gat Mortar Pyramidion and a Flame Flare left side. And on the Galleon, the HMCS Canada, we have Carronade Hwacha right side, Flak Hwacha left side with a Gatling. So very interestingly brawly type Galleon, I'd go so far as to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is definitely one of those maps you see with all this terrain here. Carronades are super, super effective, popping balloons and making other ships bump into terrain. There's been a lot of talk about carronades recently, if they're too good or not, and I strongly believe that it's really just this map in particular where it seems like it. But we are going to get into a quick engagement as a Canada is just charging straight forward right into the Jellyfish. I don't know if he just doesn't know that the Wizard is right here, but he's holding nothing back and just going straight into Jellyfish.
And he needs to rely on that Gatling to do all the stripping for his left side guns. And when that goes awry, he is just getting absolutely torn apart by that mortar from the Spire. Spire dropping down because he knew he had a Pyramidion coming up behind him, using that shoot vent. And a little bit of an inconvenient bounce on the bottom of the Duradol sends him right into a building and explodes. Gatling going to be tearing into the Jellyfish. Jellyfish needs to run here. Carronade Fish v 2 ships is never a good time. But HCMS Canada hurting pretty bad.
Yeah, and it was a good job by the Canada. It's staying alive there. Of course, the Spire being as squishy as it still is, even with the changes recently where it's gotten more hull health, you can still just sit on top of it like it did, and get a quick kill off it. But the Canada definitely took a huge beating there. So that's something that hopefully the Glowwater Thralls will keep in mind for this next engagement.
Durandal definitely helped save him in that last engagement. The Spire panicked and dropped there. But Durandal's going to be sneaking forward. He has a spot off, but Jellyfish now just getting the spot off. Gat tearing into him. Mortar raining in. There goes his armor.
Ram.
Little bit of a ram, but no more mortar. Armor is back up.
Durandal did lose its balloon in the meantime. Flying Jellyfish using that carronade to great effect.
Very
and in
nice
the meantime, the Wizard is
stressing.
actually coming up right behind the Canada.
Yeah, Canada's going to be turning its right side. No, he's staying kind of stagnant. Durandal, both of the blue team ships kind of waiting to turn around, and a lot of that mortar is just being wasted. It's shooting some mines. They're going to try and mine up the Galleon to make it really stressful for him to maneuver.
Yeah, unfortunately, those mines are actually hitting the Canada, which doesn't really do all that well. You gotta let that arm first before it actually does some major damage. I mean, of course, it does do a little bit, but not nearly enough. In the meantime, the Flying Jellyfish is trying to get itself back into this little crevice here.
And the carronades from both ships tearing into the Durandal's armor, and now mortar just raining in from that Spire, helping take him out. And now HCM CS Canada is all by himself.
Yeah, losing almost no balloon at all. That's a nice Watcher barrage. Oh my god, that takes out all the guns on the Wizard. or a little bit of reprieve, but the flying jellyfish is still sitting right next to the Canada, still with that carronade, stripping all the armor, popping the balloon, and the Canada is just gonna drop over here, and I think it's just a matter of seconds before it actually goes.
Durandal
Oh,
is rushing in here. He might try and get a quick kill on this Spire, but if he's not careful, the Spire could just put him onto the ground with that carronade. We'll see how this
Durandal rushing
engagement
in.
ends up going. Gowling tearing into him. He's gonna go straight for a ram. Desperation mine and nothing but hull, and he explodes.
So that's a great job by the Durandal still, as you can see. Even with a little bit of a nerf recently to the Pyramidion, when you get that straight on full ram, it still hurts so bad. Spires are still so squishy, and in all this, the Canada has actually managed to stay alive with some really clutch Watcher shots, taking out that carronade of the flying jellyfish.
Durandal is really the cleanup crew here after the HMCS Canada was just tanking for minutes.
Oh, but the Durandal actually runs into the building here, gets twisted all the way around.
Ooh,
Flying
that's a
jellyfish is
bad
just
ram.
has, yeah. Well, I mean, getting through this tiny, tiny area was already hard enough for a goldfish. Like, it's just if you even tap a building over there, you go spinning in all sorts of directions that you don't want to. Although I'm not sure if the flying jellyfish should really be trying to get in here. And there you go. There he's stuck to that ground, taking so much permanent damage. Keeps
Ooh,
on
and the
bouncing
wizard's
around.
gonna be
Oh, this
just
is
he's narrow enough to fit in there, but there goes his teammate, the jellyfish, and now the wizard all by himself. A Spire versus a Pyramidion and Galleon. I would not want to be in that situation. He's gonna
the
try and
only.
take out the Canada, but nothing but whole armor.
Ooh, and
And
those
there
little
he
nudges by
goes.
the Durandal doing work. One of those little taps won't do a whole lot, but when you can get several of them in succession,
Hmm.
it'll still do so much damage.
That's what makes the globe on what's the capture point version of this map called?
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, yeah. It's what makes the world on Labyrinth so deadly. Those
Yeah,
little
yeah,
succession
exactly.
ramps, if you're not
And
paying
you get those
attention.
little taps as you're bouncing back and forth repeatedly, just absolute killer. All right, so we are at a 4-1 advantage for the riders, who have been doing an excellent job, especially in the Canada, managing to stay alive the entire time. Uh, they came in charging in at the very start, almost got completely destroyed, and have gotten rescued by the Durandal a couple of times now. So excellent teamwork by the riders there. Now Canada's going way up high again, which I think is all right. Uh,
Hmm.
Scouting around mostly to see what's up. Durandal is just lying in wait.
If you see a carronade at long range, that's nothing but beneficial to you.
Yeah, and here comes the wizard trying to come through that exact same corridor once more, and once again the Durandal is gonna go charging in down that. Are they gonna be able to scoot through here? Oh, a mine does go down. Are they gonna hit that? Yes, they are.
Oh, big mine in that corridor. He fell for that bait so bad, and he got punished really hard for that.
Oh
Beautiful
my
play from
God,
Red Team. Beautiful play.
that was an excellent play there. Just a single mine doing so much there. I mean, it threw the Durn. I already am not liking the fact that they just decided to charge right through there. That corridor is really nothing
Ooh,
to be really scared of.
Canada getting a
Uh,
couple bad bounces.
yeah, and then they bounce to one side, they bounce to the other side, no gun arcs whatsoever, and the wizard just absolutely tore them a new one. Now the jellyfish is in here firing upon the Canada once more. The Durandal did get a decent spawn, and it is just charging straight forward once more, and it has got its eyes set on the wizard once again, and we'll see if the wizard can protect itself this time. Um, because it has fallen to that Durandal a couple of times so far.
I'm trying to look for mines.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
the
mine so
Canada
far.
ended up going down there. I was paying too much attention to the spire to notice that. And indeed, the
Oh, it
Canada
does get a
finally.
mine off on the Durandal once again. And once again, the balloon is down. The hull is almost down. The wizard not taking really any sort of damage whatsoever.
Jellyfish trying to rush back into the engagement, bouncing off that building though, and having quite a bad time. But the wizard now has the opportunity to just sit on right on top of the Durandal and make sure he's just getting nothing but buildings and the ground.
Yep, and the Canada spawned very, very far away, and here comes some
Nothing but mortar.
mortar
Oh,
shots.
just
Oh,
getting
they've
it back
managed.
up in time.
Yep,
Needs to be the
Durandal's
Carnage.
staying alive for now, but with its back turned to the wizard like this, yeah, there you go. There goes those final shots by the wizard. So fantastic job here by the Glowwater Thralls tying this game up. I really feel like Riders made a couple of missteps there, trying to go through that little corridor. Definitely gave an advantage back to the Thralls, and finishing the cannon off for the first time. Uh, well, as you can see, it's now 4-4 ties. So here we go. We got one more kill to go. Exciting match so far as the Durandal and the Canada are actually in two different locations. And the Canada is nowhere near the Durandal. And the Durandal is just rushing in. What is
Yeah,
the Durandal
Durandal needs to be
doing?
super careful, and now Red
Uh,
Team's going to be exploiting this. He needs to run right now.
he's got
That
to
is
he's
edge
got
of
to
map, so they need to be
get
a
out of there.
little bit careful here.
I mean, maybe he saw the spire and thought he could just rush in and get it, but the flying jellyfish was sitting right next to him, and the Canada, on the other hand, is still. I don't know where the Canada is. It's completely in a improper location, and it's trying to go through this little corridor over here, not managing to do so. And in the meantime, the Durandal is just getting chased by the flying jellyfish,
Ooh,
and it's
there's
not
some
even
mine
returning
potential
fire.
here. Wizard needs to watch out, make sure he doesn't ram that, however. He's getting altitude. HMCS Canada is in this fight, however, but he's not turning any broadsides. He's just going straight on. I think he wanted to try and ram, but the wizard just dodges out of the way with hydrogen, exploiting that vertical maneuverability with the hydrogen and shoot vent. Excellent plays by him. Durandal's gonna be baiting the jellyfish, and can the red team jump on Durandal for the last kill while just trying to keep the HMCS Canada out of this fight? Durandal is playing ring around the rosy, just trying to zone the wizard out. But he's going to turn around and run right back to the Canada to try and get out into the open. But his balloon keeps going
But
down,
it's
and he's
armor down as well. However, there's no
oh,
killing power right here, as the wizard is not very
just
good
sinking. But they don't have any arcs. Too low. Durandal sinking. Where is the Canada? Tell me the Canada isn't falling in. Yes, he is. He needs to start going backwards right now, and there it is. The moonshine backwards. I'm sorry. He knew that that was a mistake.
Now the Durandal actually went under this bridge right here, and I didn't think that you could actually get through here. I would have been sure that the you would have clipped something, especially in a ship as big as
Ooh,
the.
Wizard could be making a big mistake here, coming a little too far ahead of the jellyfish.
Oh,
Oh, they're
Canada
shooting
shoots
the
its own
turtle.
ship, and now they collide
Oh,
with each other, and that's going to throw a little bit of a wrench in the gun arcs of the Canada, but it actually turns the Durandal around to face the jellyfish, and the jellyfish actually gets stuck on this bridge over here, knocking its arc off. So there's a lot of arc knocking going currently. Oh, that Hwacha barrage
stunner
is
nerfs.
money. That is a money Hwacha barrage right there. Oh no, and the Durandal
Oh,
runs into the side of the building, killing itself for the final, final point for the Glowwater Thralls. So excellent comeback by the Thralls. They were
I think
down
if Blue
4 to
won that,
1.
I would have been a little bit disappointed. I mean, they should have been punished for that last minute choke there, which was
Yeah.
very appropriate.
So that was a crazy, crazy game. I mean, Riders had that in the palm of their hands. Thralls just managed to turn around with a couple of clutch kills. Uh, I feel like a couple of missteps once again by the Riders, but still an excellent, excellent start to this week's Sunday Rumble. Yep, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. And
Technical issues resolved. Heading into the second match of the series. Here we go.
all right, so we are getting into this next game between the Riders and the Glowwater Thralls. Glowwater Thralls currently up 1-0. And if Papa's back, we can take a quick look into what ships we got going on once again.
On the flying jellyfish, we have the carronade goldfish with a flare gun mortar once again. Moving on to the wizard, we have the flak spire, a little bit of a change, and a Merc cannon mine launcher flare combo. So they're looking like they're going to start favoring longer range. On the blue team, we have the Durandal rocking the Gap mortar Pyramidion with flare gun, flamethrower left side. And the Canada, no build changes there, sticking with the Hwacha carronade on the right, Hwacha flak gat on the left. See if they'll be able to make a little bit better use of it this time, seeing as there's at least one less carronade on the red team.
Yeah, and this is definitely a different map. You have to approach this differently than you do with Perton. We see that by the wizard going with the flak. The flak was buffed recently, and I've flown a flak spire a couple of times since the patch, and I like it. It's not by any means overpowered or super strong, but it is definitely effective. Now, what do you think about the Canada having a Hwacha on both sides? One with a carronade and one with a flak pair.
I don't know. A lot of these really depend on captains and their play styles. Like if you can utilize it properly, then it's good. If you can, then it's bad. Last minute decisions are what kill pilots in competitive games because if they're like, I think I'm gonna try a Hwacha on both sides, and not having previously used it or done well with it, then you're gonna have a terrible time.
Yeah, they do seem to favor mostly their short side so far. So it's possible that they just have the other side for, in case of emergencies. Their loadouts for their engineers, they are carrying heavy clips, so and of course their gunner has heavy clip as well. So Hwacha with that heavy clip can definitely fire further than well, without the heavy clip. Actually, let me rephrase that. Can fire further more accurately because it fires the same distance regardless. All right, so what do we have going on the map so far? We've got the red team that came down all the way on that D column side, kind of behind that rock. And this will happen from time to time where the two teams go on opposite sides of the map, sort of get near each other's spawn, realize that neither are there, and then they kind of end up meeting back up in the middle. Flares going down all over the place by mostly the Thralls currently, just keeping an eye out for any sort of approach from basically any location. Now, the wizard is just kind of basically out in the middle of nowhere right now. I don't know if if the Durandal would just come charging out from somewhere. Currently, they might be in a little bit of trouble, but that's not going to happen with the riders being all the way down in the canyons over here. Durandal flying very, very low canyon. Sorry, Canada flying very high meantime. I think the Canada is going to get a spot on the wizard here, maybe. Are they going to be able to do it? Yeah, there goes a spot on the wizard. So finally, we got some spots going on. Finally, we're going to get an engagement fairly soon here. Maneuvering still going to be very, very important as it always is on this map. It's a very, very positional map. You want to have the best angles of engagement. You want to be able to duck back behind rocks to avoid shots, everything of that sort. And we'll see how well the flying jellyfish and the wizard are able to work together, as the jellyfish is going to be able to strip armor with that carronade, and the wizard has that flak, which is also deadly when the armor goes down. But you really have to be able to time those shots well. And hopefully Papa's going to be able to jump back in here. I think he was still messing with a little bit of mic settings. We do have some shots going off from both teams. So we got that long range flak coming in, getting some nice little hits on the Canada, not doing especially too much damage. Continual fire will hurt a lot though. There you go. There's that armor going down to about half. Some of the balloon going down as well.
This is what happens when you forget you're on push to talk.
There you go. I thought there
Uh,
was something going on, but welcome back. And the Canada's just gonna, yeah, as I said, you want to be set up to where you can uh, duck behind these rocks in case you are getting peppered like you were with the Canada here.
Now, I was saying earlier, hopefully they can just get Durandal to focus the Spire and start backpedaling.
Yeah, and I think it really feels like the Durndal was just waiting here for the Thrall ships to kind of charge in, uh, doing sort of the namesake of what the map is supposed to be. Oh, nice little watch fire going off on the jellyfish, and the Durndal is focusing on the jellyfish now too. So jellyfish taking a load of damage here, but the wizard in the meantime has come around the rocks here, and is gonna stare right down at the Canada's guns. But the
But that
problem
is way
is,
too close to even be effective at all.
yeah, he it feels like he made.
Couple mines, so they're not going to even pedal close to that.
Yeah, it actually really feels like they thought they'd had a carronade still. We're just trying to come around to flank, but because either way that was going to be way too close with that flak, heavy flak.
And
And
they're
now the
getting armor on the
Durandals.
wizard, so he needs to start panicking.
Here comes those mortar shots. Are
Vertical
they going to be able to?
maneuverability, come on, use it.
Oh, missing those last few shots. So close by the
If
Durandal.
blue team cannot come through that crack either because it is mined up.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going to try to shoot it down. There's fire going off at those mines. So, the good news is if you're firing at a mine, you're not firing at a ship. So at least,
Well, it's
good
good
news
news for the red team at the
for
very
the red
least.
team. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, there can be a deterrent in that fashion as well. All right, so the flying jellyfish has made its way back around. Has met back up with the wizard as well. Now, if the Durandal actually comes around the side, the jellyfish is backing out a little bit now. I think he realized that he was not in a great sitting position right there, because if those two ships did come around the side, they would have been caught flat-footed. The jellyfish is actually going to turn the corner here and does get sight on the Durandal using that carronade, firing
Red
on
has
in.
zoned out that middle area perfectly, but now they're in close range engagements with a flak and a merc cannon, so this could be going very bad for red team.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the wizard keeps on trying to come around the side here, and I guess they can try to get a backside on the Durandal or something, but they have to know that the Canada's over
Oh,
there.
that HMCS Canada is going for a ram. He is charging right in there, but now he's closes the gap with that flak. Goes in for the ram. No damage on the wizard though. Armor just going down now, and no
Yeah, and
weapons turned.
that heavy flak isn't going to be able to do too much at all sitting over here. Now let's see which of these giant sluggish type of ships can outmaneuver each other. In the meantime, ooh, nice
Nothing
watch
but
of
guns
rush.
right up the middle. There goes his flak and his merc. He has got nothing. There goes a desperation mine right into the
And the
balloon, doing
flying
nothing.
jellyfish trying to come in here, but the Durandal is right sitting right on his butt, just completely wrecking the jellyfish's day. And both the wizard finally going down, and the flying jellyfish were in so much trouble, missing a lot of those clutch mortar shots that he needs. The wizard, however, did get taken out. The giant flying jellyfish.
Nice tar though. We'll see if this actually manages to do anything. Durandal's flying right through it.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect him too much. They weren't sitting in. Ooh, that's a nice little tar again. But I feel like these are just those desperation tars that you only put out when you're about to die. And jellyfish is taking such a beating here, and finally those mortar shots come in, finishing off the jellyfish. So, I, is it just me, or did it really feel like the thralls were just way too impatient?
I think it was just the fact that they engaged in such close quarters They need to try to engage in valleys, not like restrict themselves. Like there's not a lot you can do with a flak and merc cannon in that
Yeah.
close of range.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why the wizard kept on trying to come around the back here. I mean, as I said, they had to have known that the Canada was there from poking in the last time, and I mean, I could understand them trying to get an angle onto the Durndal, perhaps, because the flying jellyfish was, you know, firing off at them. But I'm not entirely sure of that decision to try to go around the back consistently, knowing that the galleon was just sitting there.
We'll see if red team can catch back up. I mean, the Spire is really the fulcrum of the red team. Like, if it does good, then they do good. If it does bad, then they do terrible.
Yeah, I mean, goldfish are quite often. Oh, the flying jellyfish is getting caught straight on the side here by the Durndal, opening up with those gats. Jellyfish trying to raise up to get on out of there, but this is going to be so much pain. There goes those mortar shots coming in. Just managed to wade those Watcher shots, but the Durndal still sticking right onto that jellyfish, and the wizard is just sitting behind, getting a few shots off now. Did actually manage to get
Jellyfish
the
got out of there though.
armor down, yeah. Uh, just barely managed to back up.
Now the Durndal is backpedaling. Wizard needs to help him out, but he's caught on the other side of that pillar.
And yeah, I think he's going to be colliding a little bit with the Canada here, and the Canada's probably going to be able to get the better of
Big
that. But
ram on Durndal from the pillar.
Canada's
Jellyfish
not
trying to
even
keep him
bothering.
down.
I'm
The
not
Wizard was
entirely
trying
sure.
to bait, set up mines, but it's not a lot a Galleon will do. I mean, he'll just brawl with you at mid range.
I mean, I guess the Canada
Oh,
was trying.
nothing but hull there. Big flak bursts raining in. Just getting that hull armor back up in time to save them. Durndal's panicking. A lot of stuff on fire. Just saving that balloon, but his arm is getting torn apart.
And Durandal and the jellyfish are kind of stuck in this. Oh no, the Durandal actually got banged against this rock over here, and it's flying jellyfish is still on him. And in the meantime, Canada
Big
finally
flak.
goes down. I once again, I'm not sure what the Canada's point was there. They really just should have. I feel like kept on going after the flying jellyfish. The wizard was in no way able to come and assist at all, and the Durandal taking so much damage here, armor down, balloon down. It's
Got
probably just
lucky and
got a
just
matter of
got out of that
seconds.
flak range. Just owned that arc. The flying jellyfish is probably just going to jump right on top of him here.
Yeah, it's probably just going to use its nose to tap him down into the ground, not let him get back up, dealing those final bits of damage. And there you go, Durandal going down. So it's a quick 2-2 tie. Once again, the Thralls showing their resilience. And once again, I feel like Canada making a few little missteps. They were they were trying to turn their own flak uh, onto the Canada, it looked like, and I'm not exactly sure if that was going to be the right call. I mean, as I said, the Wizard was stuck in a position where if the Canada would have kept on going after the jellyfish, the Wizard would have had a long way to go before it could have laid down any assisting fire.
Well, the Canada is such a bulky ship that, which is fitting, I guess, that it can make maneuvering in the canyons very, very difficult. So they need to be able to play that style properly. Wizard sees them, and they see the Wizard. Just take a couple pot shots before they get behind cover.
Yeah, they're using that very far back rock area, which doesn't really get used all that often.
And it either goes terribly or terribly.
Well, it could be fine if the thralls weren't completely privy to where they are exactly and where they're trying to go. I mean, they have to know
And
that
you can see the
get
edge of the
ships
map
behind
just
here.
pushing the Canada back into that pillar, but he just manages to clear that in the galleon. Very nice play there.
Yep, and Durandal is going to be able to scrape itself right past, clipping a little bit there through the artwork actually. So, yeah, both ships getting around that corner, but the thralls are just waiting here. Um, the wizard it definitely needs to turn over. They do see them. They have to definitely see them. So wizards, yeah, there you go, turning, firing those flak shots.
Nothing but
Not
flares. They can
collect.
see each other through that green haze. But it looks like blue team's just going to try and continually go.
Yep, and here we go. Flying Jellyfish coming on in and meeting with the Durndal. And once again, the Canada is
What
just
is the Canada
moving too
doing? He
far.
needs to
It's
stop.
moving too far. Turn back,
Durandal's
Canada.
going to
You're
start tearing
needed.
into the goldfish. But that wizard, if he gets even one flak shot, you can say goodbye to a quarter or even half of that Pyramidian's health.
Yeah, the Durndal taking so much fire here, keeping themselves alive, however, having taken barely any permahull damage. The Canada has managed to back itself into a more favorable position.
Did Durndal hit a mine, or why is he turning around here? Maybe that's
I'm
just a decision.
I'm not. I mean, there are mines kind of ahead of him, but I think it was just a decision that was made, and it's not proving to be the right one. And he is taking so much more damage as the wizard raining in those flak shots. There goes the Durandal once again, and now the Canada is just sitting back up against this rock. It
And
has
he was
got
facing
absolutely nowhere
directly
to
at them.
go.
He didn't even have arcs. The Canada is really choking here.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure what the Durandal was doing. There were a couple of mines down there, so I can see that, but just just go up a little and you would have been fine. But instead, the jellyfish is going to come in here, knocking out the balloons of the Canada. Canada turning on that joke shoot, trying to keep itself from falling as quick as possible. In the meantime, the Durandal has respawned, and it looks like the wizard is actually moving out in that general direction to try to
Wizard's just
meet them.
waiting for that armor. Wait for this flak terrain in.
Uh,
Big Hwacha burst from Canada, though, getting almost
Literally
every component on the
everything.
jellyfish
Yeah.
down there.
Oh my God, that is crazy how effective that Hwacha shot was. That's probably going to save the Canada a lot of trouble there. And then the Wizard was once again all the way out here. I really feel like they were out here to try to meet the Durandal, but now they have to. Now it looks like the Wizard's still going to try to do the same thing, but this is going to be way too close. Black does not do well. The
Durandal's
heavy flak
coming
does
up
not do
behind
well
the
this
wizard, but the
close.
wizard is facing him. We'll see what happens in this engagement.
Oh, and the Durandal's just going to
What a
charge straight at
gap.
him. And
There
look
goes the
out, there's
wizard's
mines
armor,
behind you as
mortar,
well.
but there goes his balloons, and then he just Toros him.
Is gonna hit in these mines? I don't quite
Oh, big
know. Ooh,
mine.
two
Nice hit.
mine
Everything's
shots.
on fire. NGs are panicking. Very nice play by the wizard there.
Yeah, this just getting right up behind him. But once again, that heavy flak isn't gonna be able to do too much at this close range.
Ooh, he clips another mine on his way down there.
Yeah, that actually may have helped him a little. However, get turning faster, better, better, faster. I don't even know what I'm
Stronger,
saying
better.
there. In the meantime, the jellyfish still focusing on repairing. Watcha Barrage comes in, doesn't do too much. I think it knocked out maybe an engine again, but
He's going to clip the
not enough.
bottom. I mean, he
Oh, in the
doesn't need a whole
meantime, the
lot more to take
Durandal.
the wizard out. And there he
Yeah,
goes. The flying jellyfish going to be on his own. HMCS Canada sitting right there,
yeah, and that Watcha
tanking.
shot that took out all of Jellyfish's stuff was so clutch. Once again, I'm not entirely sure why the wizard was all the way out. As I said, I guess they were trying to meet the Durandal, but they had to know that being up that close wasn't going to do well. The flying jellyfish is getting chased here by the Durandal. Canada's going to be out of the equation. It's just not going to be able to keep up with the speed of the jellyfish. But that Pyramidion sticking right on the ass of the jellyfish, and those mortar shots come raining in, taking
Ooh,
out.
Wizard is gonna have to make a decision here. Does he want to stay in this fight and try and take the Durandal? But he's disconnected from Canada, so we could see this could be a potentially rough decision for the Wizard. Does he want to try to tie the game up?
Uh,
Jellyfish could cut him off.
I
Canada is
really
nowhere to be
think
seen.
I really think the Durandal probably should have just kept on charging there. Although I guess it looks like there were a couple of mines up in this little valley area, so it probably deterred its approach. All right, so the jellyfish has respawned. It is fairly close to the wizard, so there's not going to be any spawn shenanigans going on. The Durandal turning into an area which I'm not quite sure what they're doing here.
I feel like those mines from the Wizard are just zoning his teammate at this point. I mean, Jellyfish needs to
Um,
get in close with that carronade, but with those mines kind of blocking the way.
yeah. On the other hand, I think the jellyfish can just kind of blink around these rocks and just wait for ships to approach. I mean, uh, these mines over here have effectively zoned out any sort of well, really or fast approach from these from basically where the Canada is right now. So in order for the Canada to get in there, they would have to go, yeah, either to the left or the right side. The Canada is just sitting out in the middle here. It's
For the
not going to be a
amount
good place for
of
them.
like for a pilot to like on the blue team, for a pilot to hit those mines, he would actually need to have a stroke mid-flight.
Yeah, this is true, but you do definitely still want to be careful. You don't want to just go charging in all willy-nilly. And there are clouds that you can see that move in through that region, which can make it difficult as well. These moving clouds were added fairly recently, so some captains might not have all the experience in the world with them. And here you go. There's another giant cloud moving in through that red spawn, obscuring all sorts of vision. There's going to have to be, as you can see, flares being thrown down everywhere to make sure that no shenanigans happen. All right, so Durandal and Canada collecting themselves, while the Wizard and Jellyfish are really basically just in a holding pattern currently. I don't really like how far apart they are currently, however. And I think they realize that as well. And the Wizard is going to come up behind the Jellyfish. Now, you can be kind of in a line behind each other, but you do definitely want to have the same line of sight.
The wizard is going to be very well, is going to get arcs removed because of those two pillars. So if they engaged on the right there, blue team would have nothing but advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, right now the Wizard doesn't have the same line of sight that the Jellyfish does, and it's very advantageous if the blue team riders could uh, take advantage of that. But of course, they have no idea where the red team of the Thralls currently are hanging out, and they're just content to sit in this little valley right here. I feel like when there's downtime like this, it's a lot of times the captain's just trying to figure out what in the world to do. It may look a little boring to those watching and maybe those who are engineering on ships or something, but honestly, this is a very tense situation for captains, especially. And look at this tiny, tiny hole that the wizard was shooting through. Still shooting through, managing to catch the back of the Canada here. That is some threading the needle type of shooting here. I mean, just imagine what would happen if that was a lumberjack getting shot through there.
Jellyfish sneaking up on that crevice, and HCMS Canada just been like, nope, this is all of a sudden not really worth it.
Yep,
This is a
Canada.
very awkward engage angle for red team. I mean, the wizard needs to get closer, but he does have long range weapons. But the further he is away from this crevice, further he is away from the engagement.
Yeah, and I really do wonder if this is just what the writers want to do here. If they just want to try to bait the thralls to coming in here, but uh, this sort of thing rarely ever works. Like you generally don't have experienced teams like the thralls just charging in aimlessly, especially when they have a flak. I mean, the wizards kind of hanging around this little open crevice that they've been shooting through. Maybe
Well,
trying to
keep in
get a few
mind that
shots off.
Renee, or rather Scrimscraw, is not flying with them.
This
So
is true.
that he could have been the logical voice that control kind of calm temperament that was seen in a lot of the longer games that Corvus Marauders even back in the day played.
All right, so they are trying a little bit of a pincer attack here once more. Jellyfish moving around on the right side, the wizard moving around on that left side, and this didn't work so well the last time they engaged in such a manner. This is when they got absolutely massacred in that little first little engagement, and they have to be really careful as
Durandal, though, Jellyfish needs to commit. He has the wizard going up right behind him, but the HMCS Canada is going to tear into the wizard. This could be the final kill. One little misstep, and there's
oh, and
nothing
the
but
wizard
all
taking
big
so much
watcher
damage. And oh
burst.
my god, that Watcher barrage just absolutely brutal. Flying Jellyfish trying to do everything it possibly can.
But he does manage to sink behind that pillar just in time. Jellyfish is now committed. HMCS Canada turning out of arcs. I would have liked to see him just switch sides and start trying to tear into the jellyfish. I have no idea what he's doing right now. Might be trying to use the pillar to get himself turned around so he can get his left side on. Or
Yeah,
not. They're just
oh,
gonna
those
try.
mines
I don't know
going
what's
up
happening.
once again. You got to be really careful here, Durandal. You don't want to be caught like you have a couple of times to find jellyfish. Not entirely sure who they're trying to go for anymore. Maybe they're just trying to get out of here.
HMCS Canada is taken out of that fight so quickly. He needs to be so careful.
Yeah, and as you can see, I think well, it was kind of really an equal engagement originally. Now the problem is that the jellyfish is still sitting right in here, and the
And we
wizard
lost
kind
our
of
broadcaster, so it's radio cast time. Jellyfish is taking hull damage. Durandal tearing into him with GAD. HMCS Canada returning that as well. He's going to be raising. They're getting hull armor. Flying Jellyfish at about a quarter down. Durandal trying to raise with him. Jellyfish going to flight ceiling, trying to run away.
well, no, it turns actually the other way around. It's going to try to keep on firing down at the Durandal, and the wizard has actually come around through past his own mines and is now firing up the Durandal as well. Durandal taking so much damage here. Durandal's armor down, balloon down, half health left to go. Can any of these flak shots connect? No, it misses. They miss the Durandal twice with shots. And the Durandal's going to just continue chasing after the flying jellyfish. They are
Durandal
already.
getting some buckshot mouthwash, as Knight Captain Rylix would say.
Yeah, there you go. And the jellyfish trying to keep itself on the Durandal. Durandal coming in. Durandal barely managing to get its armor back up once more. So little balloon left. The two
They're
ships actually
dancing, coasting
go.
around each other. Wizards taking some hits. So is the Canada. They're brawling off in the corner. Two engagements have separated. Durandal and Jellyfish facing each other now. Durandal's got just flying wide of the Jellyfish, getting about half the clip left in there.
Yeah, Durandal's balloon down once again. Armor going slowly down. Their hull is on fire. In the meantime, the Wizard is taking a lot
HMCS
of damage.
Canada's
And
getting
Canada
taking
and
big
both the
hits from the
Durandal
Wizard.
barely have any health left. Both managed to get their armor back up with just this tiny sliver of health left.
Blue
Both
team
blue
both off
ships.
pixel health. Both ships, two
Oh, and the
engagements,
Canada
and
goes
there
down. It was
goes
a
the
4-4
Canada.
tie. It's a 4-4 tie, and the jellyfish is sitting on top of the Durandal with its carronade. The Durandal sinking, almost hitting that ground. That's when those carronades are so effective when you can get the enemy ships down onto ground and into
There is
terrain.
one pillar obscuring the arc from the wizard to the Durandal. He just needs to break that one thing so he can get that explosive damage. Jellyfish raining in some carronades there. Shots just flying wide, and he's in the
Oh, and here
wizard's
come the flak
arcs
shots
now.
hitting. One more shot, any shot, and there you go. There's a final shot coming in from the wizard, and it is a down to the wire, exciting finish that nobody but us sees. Papa, that was a crazy end. And the Thralls pull out once again a 5-4 victory, coming back twice in that game. Holy crap, guys, that was absolutely crazy. Both blue ships were at so low health. Thralls win this series 2-0.